Today we're going to be doing some advanced drawing techniques with ink on how to draw a shark. So stay tuned for this video. Hi, I'm Bill Clowes. Today we're going to be drawing the shark. We're going to be using some advanced drawing techniques. I'm going to be using a nib. I'm going to show you how I stipple, how I do some fine lines, and I'm hoping it's going to improve your art. So let's get into it. Okay, starting off with a rough sketch. Now I'm going to show you some advanced inking techniques, and this is for advanced drawers, so you don't even necessarily have to draw a shark. But what I am going to be doing is a few underwater effects, and so a sea creature, even a fantasy creature of some kind, would be handy if you wanted to try out some of the effects I'm going to show you. Or this might just be very handy for those who do a little bit of stippling anyway. This is an advanced drawing video, and I'm sure that a lot of people already know how to draw. Now, to explain what I'm going to do here, gently with pencil, I'm going to be doing a bit of an underwater effect. So I'm going to be doing some shapes like this. So these are my blobs, sort of like the patterns you see at the bottom of a swimming pool. Now where I've got the white bit here, I'm going to make that go over the shark like this. See that? And that's sort of describing the shape, and they sort of fade out a bit here. So here's just a little nib that I bought off eBay for about $1. I think I bought a pack of 10 for $10 or something like that. You can see what I've done is I've just got a twig, a piece of wood, because it feels natural in my hand. I have epoxy resin glued it to that. You can get nice nib holders, which are nice. Just to save money I do that, because I'm a cheapskate, I guess. Well, as a professional artist, you've got to save every cent you can, but I find that quite comfortable. If you don't use ink, I encourage you to use ink with a nib, as it makes a nicer line. And for those first time using a nib, it's always handy to have a scrap piece of paper that you can just do that to. Because one of the reasons that people don't like using nibs is, they get this blobby bit in their art like that. But if you flick it on a spare sheet like that, you don't get that. Now, probably this part of the shark is dark in colour. This bit here has a bit of shadow, and this bit here has a bit of a light. So it's a bit of a strange thing where you've got light hitting the top. It's a dark colour, so it sort of lightens it. Then it gets dark here, then it fades off into light, and then it gets a little bit of shade again. And we're going to be stippling, which is just dots like this. And this could take a while. What I do first when I stipple is that I do a fairly all over tone like this. And with this, I'm not going to do any real solid lines. I might do some around the teeth, but to start with, it's really an exercise in tone. So what I'm trying to attempt to do here is fairly evenly spaced dots. And if you are doing this along with me, you might want to pause the video here, because I'm just going to skip to the next level. What I'm going to do next is some very, very gentle lines. I'm just going to use a very sweeping motion, and my nib's only just going to touch the paper. really stroking that paper ever so gentle. Like always when you're using a nib, you've got to remember it's not a ballpoint pen, it's actually much more sensitive than that. You can pick up some very sensitive lines. What I do next, it's a stippling trick, is I'm going to dot around where all the lines are. So where I'd normally put a line, I'm now putting a dotted line. Now I'm going to erase the lines. Gently rubbing away. Get rid of all those pencil guidelines. You can sort of see where the line goes. It's like an imaginary line. We're going to now make this much bolder. I'm going to bold in around here. I'm going to go around the details with dots. I'm going to show you a little trick I do with stippling. Alright, instead of putting lots and lots of dots all together, I do this sort of thing. It's my little stippling trick, because it would take a long time to make that all dots, but this tends to work. And then you dot around the edges, and that's stippling in half the time. Okay, what we want to do next is got to bring it out of from the background. So I'm going to be putting some lines here, making the background a bit darker, just going over some lines. And here I want this not to look like a pattern on the actual animal, but some light shining on. So I'm going to put a few dots, just like I've done here, up through here, just to break this up slightly, but I won't do any just in the top little bit there. So first of all, the breaking up, taking it out from its background. So I went over the light bit, but now I'm going over these bits to re-establish that it's a little bit darker there. Things too, you'll see the light bit comes down, but now goes behind the shark. Now, just so it's not just a furry line behind it, I'm going to break it up here a bit, like there's other patterns in the water. So this is a chance to get in amongst the teeth and make it really dark. Gently dot these, soften them up. See, straight away that softens that, but it's still just there. And so there's our stippled shark. Sort of, it's all playing with light. That's what I love drawing is. And that was how to draw a shark using the advanced drawing techniques. Now, some of the people who have clicked on the word advanced, I'm guessing are already artists. You may even have your own techniques and our own approaches on how you do this. And if you do, I'd love to hear about it. Maybe in the comments section you can share how you do it. Maybe even do a video response. But if you've enjoyed this video, maybe have a look at some of my other videos, maybe consider subscribing. I'll see you next time when I'm going to draw something else interesting.